Hello and welcome to CTESurveys.com. This video is going to walk you through some of the features that you're going to use as a counselor to help you collect, analyze, and also use data to drive decisions in your schools. Now we're going to begin by going to the counselor login. And if you don't have an account, we're going to go ahead and click Create Account. If you do, go ahead and sign in with your username, the email, and the password. We're going to begin by go ahead and filling out the information on the form. And we're going to select our school from the drop-down list. Now, if you don't see your school, go ahead and select My School is Not Listed and type in your school name. My school is listed, so I'm going to go ahead and select Bayside Elementary and fill out my email and a strong password. Now you're going to want to make sure that if there's multiple school counselors at the school, you're going to have each individual account, so they're going to fill this out individually. No sharing emails and passwords. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select Register as a new user. And you'll notice that we have a register success, but we need to confirm our email before we can log in. So if I go back to the counselor login and try to use that same email and password, you'll notice that we have an error because our email has not yet been confirmed. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm my email that has been sent. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and log back in. Now you'll notice that this is a little bit different of an error because we've already confirmed our account, but what we need to do is we need to confirm your identity to make sure you're logging into the correct school. So there's going to be a committee either at the USBE or a staff member that's going to go ahead and look to make sure that your email and your name links to the school that you're trying to sign up for. So we're going to go ahead and confirm this email. And you should receive a confirmation email saying that you now have access to the dashboard. It could take up to 3 to 5 business days, but usually it's a lot faster than that. So we're going to go ahead now and sign back in one last time. And you'll notice that we now have access to the dashboard. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to view the surveys that you have access to. Now, if you're in elementary school, you'll notice that we have several surveys listed here. And we also have this view send link. Now the view send will do exactly that. You can either view the survey or actually send the survey to your stakeholders. Now if you're ready to give the survey to your K2 students, you're going to select this first option. And the first one is a view only link. Now that's just for you as a counselor to see all of the survey questions and what they look like. So we have, thank you for taking our survey. More just, here's some reasons why you're taking the survey, quick little paragraph, and then you'll see all of the survey questions listed out. Okay. Once you're ready for the students to take the survey, you're going to either give them this link or you're going to have them go to CTESurveys.com, click Take a Survey, and this is going to be a unique survey code for your school. So they're going to put in that survey code and select Bayside Elementary from the drop-down list. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and open this up in a new tab. Click Take a Survey. And if you have this written maybe on a board or something that the students can see, they're going to type out the password or the survey code, and they're going to select the school that they're trying to take the survey for. Now, if they try to select a school that's other than yours, it's going to give them an error saying that that's not the correct school. Okay, but if they did type in the right survey code and selected the right school, it should jump right into the survey. Again, it looks a little bit different now because students are going to go question by question, and as soon as they select an answer, it goes right to the next question. We'll notice that we also have smiley faces, a meh face, and a frowny face, so students can click on those instead of reading the yes, no, and I don't knows. Okay. Just going to hurry and fill out this survey. And then we added a custom question, which I'll show you in just a little bit. What's my favorite color? Now, most likely that's not going to be on your survey, but maybe you as a counselor might have a question that you really want students to ask or answer, right? So you'll ask the question, create a couple answers that they can choose from, and then this will be at the end of your survey from the standard survey questions. So once they're done, they're going to go ahead and click Submit Survey. and they have a unique confirmation code that they can either print off, or if parents are taking their survey, they can print this page and then bring it in maybe for a little surprise or a prize or something, whatever you want to do to help you increase the number of participants for your survey. Now you'll notice that I did have a custom question. So we have this customized link at the top, and before you send out your surveys, you're going to want to customize it with any additional survey questions that you want to ask. Now again, caution, try not to add very many. You can add up to 5, but if you don't really need to ask the question, I would just leave it off the survey, because you notice there was quite a few survey questions. So the first thing we need to do is agree that we're not going to collect any personal information like, hey, what's your social security number, right? Not good. So make sure all of the questions you do ask are not personally identifiable. We're going to go ahead and select OK. And you'll notice that we modified the elementary student K2 survey. So we're going to select that. And there's my what's your favorite color question. Now, you'll notice that we have an edit and a delete. So if I click edit, I have this big red lock, right, that says I can't edit it. And the reason why is because students have already answered that question. If I modify it, it makes the survey invalid, right? So maybe you might modify the question so much that they said blue, but now we have different answers that they didn't even have a chance to answer. So if there is a custom question that you want to modify, you make sure you do it before you send out the surveys. Or what you can do is you can go ahead and just delete the question altogether. Now, responses from that question were still collected, and when you export the data, you'll still see those responses. But if you're ready to add an additional question, you're going to go ahead and select Add Question. We're going to go ahead and type in the question. What school did you come from? Right, and we might have a multiple choice question, a checkbox question, so they can select maybe multiple schools or multiple options, and then maybe just a text response. They can fill out the response. So we're going to say multiple choice. So once we have all of the questions in there, the question and all of the answers in there, now there is an option for filter header text, which means that I can filter all of the responses based off of Sawhorse, Greenville, or Harrisburg, right? And so I'm just going to type in school here so that when I collect all the responses and I want to see, hey, everyone from Sawhorse, I want to see what their responses are compared to the rest of my students. We can do that by adding in a filter header text. Now, if it's just data that you want to collect and not have to worry about filtering it, we just leave that out and we're okay. So we go ahead and save the question. Okay, there's our survey question. You can view all the survey questions here as well that are the standard survey questions. We're ready to go send out our survey just like how we did before. Now, if I want to see the responses, we can click on Summary. And then we have an export. We can export all of our survey data. So let's go ahead and refresh our survey data again. So I select the 2021. I choose my elementary student. It downloads it as a CSV file. All right, so once you've exported your data, you can open it up into Excel. Everything is good there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the summary report. Now this is just going to summarize everything that's been collected. What we need to do is we need to create those summary reports. So if you click on elementary survey, it's going to send us an email saying, hey, I want a summary of all my data. We just send you a quick little Excel spreadsheet that shows you all of the responses from each individual question instead of just kind of data dumping it to you. So if you are a counselor that loves Excel, this is great, right? You can take that file, you can analyze it, and then make decisions based on that data. Now, if you're one that's a little bit more uncomfortable with it and you just want to see, hey, I want to go through every question, every filter, give me the largest gaps, we do that. So you can click on this Purchase Reports, fill out this information, and select the surveys that you would like analyzed. And this is just a really easy way just to quickly see your data summarized, and then also some charts that show your largest gaps from the data that's been collected. Lastly, if you do have any additional questions or any of the features that I might have gone through a little bit quickly, you can go ahead and click the help link. This is just a nice little PDF file that you can look through. So this is just a nice little PDF file that you can go through and see every single feature on the website. All right, so the last thing for the elementary school counselors, right now you see action plans across the top. Now these are secondary action plans which aren't really applicable to elementary. So what we're going to do is we're actually creating a feature that is going to be lesson plans that you can use as a counselor, and this is going to be a collective database from school counselors' lesson plans that they use currently in their schools. All right, so now that you've collected the data and you've maybe even analyzed it, and now you're trying to see, well, is it significant? Is the sample size that I actually used, is it enough? So we added a few calculators just right on the homepage of the website that you can select, and you might have two different groups and you're just trying to see, hey, there's a gap, but is it a significant gap? So let's say I had like 325 students that responded, and 56% of them responded to this question. And maybe you had like 368 people that had maybe like 50% answered a different answer, right? Is that a gap? Like, is 6% really a gap, and is it significant? Well, if I click calculate, you'll notice that, yeah, it was really, really close to being significant, but it's not statistically significant, right? But let's say that gap was larger. Let's say it was like 48, right? And click calculate. You'll notice that that gap between those two was actually statistically significant, which means it probably didn't happen by chance. There's a 0.017% or 0.018% chance that that actually happened by chance. So if you want to use that and you're starting to see some of these bars on the dashboard and you're analyzing it, this is a great calculator that just helps you just with that significance level, right? The last thing I want to show you is the sample calculator. Now this is a really neat calculator that determines, am I collecting enough responses? Let's say I have like 650 students in my school that I'm trying to collect data for, and you want to see, did I collect enough responses? Well, inside of here, we have a confidence level, and anything above an 80% is a good confidence level percentage that you want to use. Most research hits the 95% confidence level, and that's something you should probably try to reach, right? To say, I'm 95% confident that this is not happening by chance. Margin of error typically is set at 5. Now let's say that 40% of my 6th grade students don't feel comfortable coming to the counseling center. Well, I'm 95% confident that that's really true, which is a good number, right? But with the margin of error, you're also saying, well, if 40% of them, we're saying that anywhere between 35 to 45%, I'm 90% confident that that is the range that that is really true. So there is a slight margin of error, and usually that's set at 5% down, 5% up. So when we click calculate, we can see that we need to collect 242 responses of our entire population to make sure that that is really representing our population.